do 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 do. Thank you, Shattered Glass. Hello, Fire. I'll be ready in a second. Or actually, I think I'm ready now. Um, Sorry, I don't think I have alert command, but thank you anyways. Maybe I'll ask Shrimpy to make it. So, hi Shrimpy, can you make the alert command on? I don't know yet how to do it, so you could just make the alert. Well, I can always do that later, so you don't have to worry about it right now. So, thank you everybody for jumping in right now. I'm just gonna, kind of just wait a little bit before we start things off. Hey, doggy, thank you for stopping by. I'm doing okay. I'm doing well. It just, it's just absolutely cold right now, and again, it was, previous couple months it was burning, and now it's cold, and it's just absolutely annoying. Um, so we get the pleasantries out of the way. Or actually, I'm sorry not to be rude, but how is everybody doing? How is their Thanksgiving? I didn't do much for Thanksgiving. Turkey is fine. I just don't like turkey from the bird basted in an oven for an hour, and all the trimmings and all that, and cranberry sauce. Um, Most of the time, I'm usually allergic to most food, so that's why I don't partake in it. So I'm not, trying to be sacrilegious to Thanksgiving, but yeah, I don't do too much with Thanksgiving. So right, right, yeah, it just it's just cold and so yeah, but yeah, it's just been cold. And hopefully, I mean, the good thing is November is almost over, and then we can get to December, and then okay, thank you for adding that, Trippy. And then December is Christmas and all that. And, oh my gosh, thank you, thank you very much, Doggy. Oh wait, no, that was just a notification, right? You like you subscribed for a couple days ago, or not days ago. Now I think about it, weeks, and also again, I have a slight confession to make about gaming. Is that again, I know I had my mental health breakdown kind of because, or due to gaming, mostly because I had a problem with Mixer and trying to support people and do all that at the same time. But because I'm a textbook trying to make everybody happy person. So, and I know I should stop doing that. But I gotta return to gaming, mostly not just because I want to stop scratching. Also, the cold is dealing havoc with my hands. Mostly, that's my biggest problem. Because of eczema. Um, but yeah. Gosh, what was I gonna say? But also just like in general, just to stop myself from scratching because that's my biggest problem. But again, I'm trying to not go dive head first, as it were, into gaming, and I'm only like streaming an hour a night or playing an hour a day, and I don't even know if I'm gonna stream today. I think I'm gonna take a break and all that. Thank you very much, Shrimpy. Would you do you change like the descriptions at nightbot.com, or do you change the descriptions in chat itself? Because other than that, I want to modify it later and all that. So, um, okay, we'll modify it to say like they're having uh they're having a lovely day at the market or something like that. I think that's a nice description. So, um, anyway, also big changes around here. I know probably Devo Yuri's not in here yet, Shrimpy, but I added him as a mod, so I think he's been around long enough. So I just I moved him from VIP to mod. Thank you very much, Shrimpy. That makes it sound uh that sounds really nice. But yeah, I made Yuri a mod, and also okay, I'll think about it, Shrimp, because there's a lot of commands that I was just gonna ask, where do you change the name of Nightbot? Do you change it in chat, or same thing with Nightbot? So, oh, you can't change the name of Nightbot? Is that only for like Streamlabs, or that Streamlabs Cloudbot? Because I've seen Cloudbot, I've seen like some of the other third party ones, and tried the third party. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Because I saw the Cloudbot, I didn't know what to do with it, so I just for right now, and I don't know if Cloudbot is a Streamlabs Prime or just Streamlabs only type thing. So um so before anything else, yeah, so I think I went over a lot of stuff. We talked about Nightbot, talked about Thanksgiving. Um, yeah, again, like I talked about gaming a lot, and like I think this was the next big thing. And I'm mostly playing games that I want to play, Fantasy Star was a big one. I played some of the indie games I bought on Xbox, which I been wanting to play for a while. Gun Crazy's one. It's like shoot 'em up. That's kind of difficult, but it's one of their first games, so you can't. There's also another game called Nippon Marathon. It's like kind of like, it's a bad game, but I wanted to play it forever, and it's just like the TV show MXC, Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, and it's 4 players, but unfortunately there's no internet play or whatever, or internet because or online multiplayer because people money servers cost money, and servers not a small indie team is gonna have servers. I left the Beats Super Fair, I left a negative review, and I know it's probably their first game, so I should be more kind to it. So Question mark. Okay, that's pretty silly. No, I gotcha. I gotcha. And yeah. So Fantasy Star. My brother bought for me something. Woodle Tree Adventures. I think that's another indie game. But I wanted to support more indie games. I might put more. Okay, Doggy Mango. Thank you for stopping by. Just in case you leave the channel. And what else? Oh, I bought Tokyo Turbo Warzone. It's like anime girls and tanks. It's kind of like it's more modern. It's like kind of like that anime girls Unpanzer or whatever. So, but I think but I don't know if they ever release any of those types of games in the North America or U.S. or whatever. And then I played Destiny. Unfortunately, I might have to not play Destiny anymore because I got I asked my brother to get the hard light for me when I was not playing, and I got it. I finally used it, and I was really disappointed because I think I'm having slight problems because it's enemies flash in Destiny, and the hard light is a gun that shooting all kinds of like lasers out of each other or at the enemy. So it's seizure lasers and flashing white or like flashing white, and I'm going like that's not good. So I uninstalled Destiny for a little bit, and oh yeah, I also again I installed Star Wars Squadrons. I'm gonna finish that soon. And that's about it. And uploading other stuff in the meantime, and kind of streaming and uploading stuff in the meantime. But again, I think I'm gonna take a break today because honestly, Grim Fandango for me is getting kind of repetitive, and even though I'm looking at a guide, and even though Grim Fandango I think is good, but again, like I think the first part, year one, is great, and then it kind of loses immediate steam once year two hits, and then year three is weird. I don't know what's gonna happen in year four, but year three is like I feel like it's kind of rushed, and it's kind of weird to say that for even old games, but like because I know it's like once they get have a franchise or whatever, that's like they probably have to develop games on the timetable, but yeah, just like oh yeah, sure, that's perfectly fine. That's what I was gonna ask you too. It's like I don't know. What's it called? Adding a permanent Discord link, and I know it's like, and the B's super fair too. If they want to join it, they join it, but it's fine. I think with Discord, Shrimpy, that with the rank or with each with all the people's ranks. Okay, perfect. Thank you. You can do anything. Or I don't think I disabled anything for the orange rank, so I don't think I gave myself any special permissions either. But yeah, welcome back, Doggy Mango. But yeah, what was I gonna say? But yeah, I think you can add and remove channels. You can add you can add and remove people. And honestly, I think for new people that I don't know yet or don't know well, they're gonna have to be a while in the just in the everyone rank or whatever, because I don't know if they have to be vetted for a while. So before they get stuff. So yeah, thank you for adding all these commands, Shrimpy, because I know it's a lot of work, and thank you for doing this. It's a lot of work that I don't have to go through and all that. So sorry. We So yeah, but again, once I get more, once I get all my equipment and stuff, I'm gonna be streaming more stuff. I think change that, Shrimpy, to like thank you for joining the Gals Club. Enjoy your stay or something like that. That's my only thing, I think. Other than that, okay, we will get to the pleasantries. Um, Oops, that's different. Okay, never mind. That's just gonna stay there. I thought it was So Twitch shout out for Shin. He's one of my mods. He's a good guy. If you could follow him as well, that'd be great. Shout out again for Shrimpy RF. He's one of my mods. He's doing much of the work right now, and no, it's fine. I just kind of want you the change or change the sub hype one for welcome to the Gals Club. Um, and enjoy your stay or something like that. Okay, thank you very much. Could you sorry, one more. Could you change the emote to my to the Daisy one if you have that choice? If not, that's fine. But yeah, so yeah, he's doing Shrimpy's doing a lot of the work right now. He's one of my mods. You have to give the sub the Nightbot for that. Does the Nightbot always have the sub, or is it just you have to do it every now and then? Because I kind of see that, but at the same time, that's really okay. I gotcha. That's kind of I see what you're saying. Yeah, if you have extra money to do that, I'll do that in the future. But anyway, thank you very much. But again, like I know Shrimpy, he's a good guy. If you could support him as well, that'd be great. I also updated your picture as well, Shrimpy. So yeah, I updated Shin's, yours, and Diva Yuri as well. And again, like I was saying, I was moving Diva Yuri the mod because again, uh, uh, because again, I think he's been vetted long enough, and he's from hanging out with you and him, or that he's a good person, and if you could follow him as well, that'd be great. Last thing is Fiverr shout out. If you could help out Jean and him, she's a fantastic artist. She works on a lot of projects for me. If you could help her out with a gig or two, that'd be great. Okay, other than that, I think it's great time to get to the issue at hand, or the or subject at hand, and that is Kingdom Hearts. Um, I know I didn't write a script down with pen and paper, but and hang on, I'm gonna let this. Oops. Ah, I'm gonna let this run in performance now mode. So okay. So Kingdom Heart. I with Doggy Mango. I think it's like with Kingdom Hearts. It's one of those like and yeah, I just wrote the script on, so I'm gonna refer to that every now and then. Or over here. I don't know. I'm just gonna minimize it for right now. Cause I'm kind of going off what Shrimpy said last time when we had Sarasalandcast, and that was to be more not eloquent with writing it, but uh be more specific about why it was good, because what I kind of said for much almost all of them was kind of just the personal feelings that you attach to something, and that's good. You have your you have your enjoyment out of the franchise, but I'm not getting across why it's good. I'm not getting across why it's good, why it's enjoyable. um I would say with Kingdom Hearts 1, it was, it's one of those lightning in a bottle type moments. It's like, Marvel versus Capcom, or um gosh, what's it called? Right there you go. Thank you very much, Shrimpy. That's another one. You can again add yourself as well. And probably add a. I can't think of anybody else for right now. Um, so I never played the original Kingdom Hearts. I think I played it once, probably like for 5 seconds. Um, and I think the most egregious thing, and I don't know if anybody's ever said it before, but I seriously can't take Sora's clown shoes at all. That's the most annoying thing to me. Not Haley Joel Osment's voice, that's fine. Not the way Sora looks. It's just his clown shoes. His clown shoes are the most annoying thing to me, because how big are his feet? It's weird to me. And but yeah, now I'll get to the script. So yeah, Kingdom Hearts 1 was made by oops, that's probably I'll just put it here. Was made by Square Enix and Disney. It was released in 2002. More value to a PS2. The PS2 was in 2000, so it had Final Fantasy X and Metal Gear Solid 2 next year, which we know were great. Um, uh, basically Criterion Collection for games. But it needed a mascot, Microsoft with the Xbox had Halo, Sega with the Dreamcast had Phantasy Star and Sonic Adventure, and Nintendo had Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 and Super Smash Bros. Melee. And we had a GameCube initially. We had Melee and Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, and yeah, those were such an event. That was reason enough to own a GameCube. Same thing, with Xbox with Microsoft, and if you had a Dreamcast as well. Same thing with Phantasy Star, or Phantasy Star personally for me, Sonic Adventure for mascot and name brand recognition. But kind of going with PS2, that had Jack and Daxter, tons of names, but not an iconic kid friendly mascot like a Mario or Sonic. PS2 needed a Mario and Sonic, and even though PS2 had Solid Snake or Cloud Strife from both games for Sony mascots, there wasn't a kid friendly, super kid friendly one. I think Kingdom Hearts was that it was needed for gosh, what's it called? For the PS2. Again, granted, I don't remember. It's like Katamari. That's really kid friendly, right? But that was not. That was much later. That was 2004, 2005. So Kingdom Hearts was initially that thing. So I didn't obviously say too much about Blinks of Time Cat because I wrote it down, but again, that was a thing where it's I tried out Blinks of Time Cat once. I know Microsoft wanted that as their kid-friendly mascot. It fell through, unfortunately, and that's why Halo is their bread and butter. So the story of Kingdom Hearts is Kairi, Riku, and Sora, and I'm gonna be like I was talking about with Phantasy Star originally, where it's just I just don't like Ethan Weber. Riku is the Sasuke slash he's the anime like I'm gonna portray my friends for no reason. Like kind of like if you equate Naruto, right? At least Sasuke kind of had some, like reason to be like, okay, I'm gonna betray the Leaf Village because they basically, were gosh, what's it called? Oops, I'm gonna just see something real quick. Okay, I was concerned that my microphone was not uh that I was concerned that my microphone was not going. But yeah, I'm not paying attention to my scripts because I don't want to read it verbatim because again that would be I know it's like you guys are just here and hanging out and supporting me, but I just don't want to read it verbatim because then I feel like that would be more more boring. But yeah, again, like Sasuke has reason to distrust or dislike the Leaf Village because his family was more or less slaughtered by the Leaf Village or whatever, right? So, but like Riku, like I feel like he has no reason to, and even if he's like manipulated or whatever later by, spoiler alert if you have never played Kingdom Hearts, by Ansem slash Xehanort, I feel like there should be greater reason to defend why he's doing these actions. So again, Kairi, Riku, and Sora, they're about to set off islands called Destiny Islands. I guess, great name, but also kind of sounds goofy. It sounds like a Destiny's Child like album or something like that. They're about to set off. They're attacked by these creatures called Heartless. Heartless are, again, the creatures that feed off the negative energy of somebody's heart and eventually morphs them to a monster. It almost, if like I don't think the same guy from Final Fantasy X wrote it, but it almost sounds verbatim taken from Final Fantasy X as well, that like when people die, their spirit or whatever gets restless and they get pissed at the living, so then they turn into a monster. So but eventually Sora, Riku, and Kairi, they get separated. Sora eventually joins with the King's men, Donald and Goofy. Donald is a mage and Goofy is a knight. And that's kind of how the adventure starts. Sora also meets other Final Fantasy icons: Leon or Squall, Leonhart, Yuffie, and Aerith, and eventually you meet Cloud, but then that's later, and Sephiroth is later as well. I'll get Sephiroth a lot because I know it's like, regardless of whether or not you like Final Fantasy VII, I feel like Sephiroth is the most shoehorned character in Kingdom Hearts. I know he's the most like difficult fight as well, but like he has less like reason being there. Like Cloud has a little bit more reason being there because he's like, but like I feel like they had no cutscenes introducing Sephiroth before the final fight of him. So, but yeah, so about Kingdom Hearts Pro, Disney, cons, again, like I said, Sora clown shoes. That's my biggest problem. Again, like barely any licensed music except for the Hundred Acre Woods, with Pooh and Piglet and Atlantica. I think the worst area is Pinocchio. I think it's even better than the Tarzan area because Tarzan, was 2000. It was the hit new movie. But yeah, there's kind of going back to the licensed music thing. There's no Phil Collins for Tarzan Zone. It's just kind of generic, like almost like a Donkey Kong verbatim type music. But yeah, it's kind of like with Kingdom Hearts. It's like you have initially very fun, Disney stuff, and then it kind of gets to the drama of Final Fantasy. Again, like I love Final Fantasy X, but like it's kind of funny that like I just didn't realize it at the time that Kingdom Hearts it lures you in with Disney, and it's like, oh yeah, this will be what you'll be, experiencing the whole time, and then it goes like, whoa, what with the tone change and these worlds that don't exist type thing. Um, so, spoiler alert, Kingdom Hearts 1 ends with, or turns out this guy called Ansem slash Xehanort was behind the whole entire thing. He's trying to cultivate something called Kingdom Hearts, and that's when 7 Princesses of Light, or sorry, I should have explained that for before. This is a part of the story. 7 Princesses of the Light, Aurora, Cinderella, I think Jasmine, Alice in Wonderland, Belle. They are needed to create Kingdom Hearts. So Xehanort slash Ansem is kidnapping them across each world and using them for his plans, and then Sora kind of stops him. That's the best I could say without spoiling too much and the minutia of like why be enjoyable, why and again, like, I'm not being trying to be rude, and I'm trying to make like the most context of the story, because I know I realized I should have wrote that before, because I was kind of just setting this up, but then I just didn't. I realized I should have wrote like the ending too, because so yeah, Kingdom Hearts 1 also has like a 4-phase boss almost, I would say, for the final fight of Xehanort slash Ansem. And that's cool, I guess. But at the same time, if you haven't leveled, it's such a pain, and it kind of sets up the whole series to have insane bosses at the start of the game. Or, sorry, not at start. That'd be too bad, that'd be like Dark Souls or Demon Souls. As the phrase goes. But they always have incredibly insane bosses, especially with the re-releases. Like Final Fantasy X, when it had an HD version, they added, or the not just HD, but it was a like a super version after the fact, after the like Greatest Hits version. It adds like Dark Aeons and stuff, and same thing with Kingdom Hearts names get really confusing after a while. Like Kingdom Hearts Remix 1.5, that's like the first one, but it has a bunch of super bosses and like additional like stuff to help you on your journey, I think. So it's kind of cool that they did that. So Kingdom Hearts 2, it's kind of the same thing. Xehanort slash Anthem is trying to make Kingdom Hearts or whatever. He's using, and this is where it's like the story kind of goes out the window, because there's a game between Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2. It's called Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, that establishes Organization 13. There's this shadowy group that and when a person becomes a Heartless, they also create a nobody. So, and it kind of makes sense when you think about it. But again, it's kind of get convoluted in a sense too. It's almost just as bad as Metal Gear, because it's like Metal Gear makes all these grand, gestures, and then they kind of fall flat on their face when you don't have all the pieces. And Kingdom Hearts is almost the same way. So Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, I know I didn't put it here. It's confusing. The whole plot of it, I remember from the Wikipedia article, is, it's like the theme of memory. So you try to reconstruct why you forgot stuff in the after the ending of Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 2 starts off again with Organization 13. Ansem slash Xehanort is the leader of that. Organization 13 is kind of like, they're nobodies. So there's a person's Heartless, and then there's a nobody. So nobody are like, they added extra to the name, kind of be edgy slash goofy slash, it's really confusing. Anyway, they try to set up all the problems of Kingdom Hearts 2, and it's confusing what the villain's motivations are. I have Organization 13. I forgot to say in Kingdom Hearts 1 as well. Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty, Aurora's movie. She was one of the main villains of the first game. She kind of is in the second one. She hangs out with Pete. Pete's kind of cool as a villain. They do have a lot of better worlds. Thankfully, there's not like Pinocchio in this one. There's not like, gosh, what's it called? There's less like the golden age of like Disney movies or whatever, like Pinocchio and Bambi and Dumbo. I'm sorry, I really don't like Dumbo. But yeah, there's Mulan. There's Orin from Final Fantasy X. There's Tron. So yeah, I'm honestly surprised they added Tron as a world because it was very Tron's like another like iffy, like if people like it or not, and it's cool that they included it as a so also they have summons. They sorry, that's another thing too. Summons in Kingdom Hearts 1, they kind of range the gamut from again, like I was saying, classic Disney properties like Bambi and Dumbo. And then there is Mushu, so it's kind of funny too. If you're summoned, you automatically get a next world or whatever. I think there's Genie, if I remember correctly, and yeah. So again, Kingdom Hearts 2 has Mulan. And not trying to be just biased because I'm Asian or whatever, but I just it's like. In Kingdom Hearts 1, when there was a world like Aladdin or Agrabah, it was very clustered and it felt claustrophobic. In this one, they do a much better thing, and they have Agrabah in the second one is much more, it's much more open, and you can explore the world and you don't feel claustrophobic. And so they do a better job with world building in the second one, and other than that, so they have worse summons like Chicken Little. What I was gonna say too is like they have better summons. So they have Stitch, but Stitch from Lilo and Stitch is also a future world, which is kind of funny, which kind of defends the theory about if you're summoned, you'll get a world or you'll get some mention. But also they have worse summons like Chicken Little from the Criterion movie Chicken Little, and I think it's Disney or at that point in time was like, oh no, Chicken Little didn't fail. Here he is in Kingdom Hearts to defend him, and they and I know a lot of people dislike Chicken Little. Chicken Little is absolutely. But I feel like before you shit on or before you be rude to Chicken Little, watch The Wild, which is another 3D Disney movie early on, Valiant, and Meet the Robinsons. I really don't like Meet the Robinsons. I watched The Wild, and The Wild is like, I couldn't believe they let that movie release, because I figured that would have just been on the cutting room floor. And Valiant, I feel like Valiant is an animated buddy cop movie of, I think it's Ewan McGregor and Ricky Gervais, and I feel like they're the worst buddy cop pairing ever, because I feel like it just doesn't work. John Cleese is in Valiant as well, but it's just I feel like it's awful. I think Tim Curry is also like the villain. He's the German guy, German bird or whatever. But I know it's like Meet the Robinsons as well has a lot of celebrity talent, and I don't like Meet the Robinsons. Next thing is Kingdom Hearts 358 and a half days. That's where the most, I think, ridiculous title comes from. Besides Dream Drop Distance and Birth by Sleep. Um, Pros obviously kind of the protagonist, Roxas, Xeon, or Zion or Xeon, and Axel. Because they're fresh faces, they're fresh faces, and I forgot to say that with Kingdom Hearts 2, it starts off as you play as Roxas. So this game and Chain of Memories introduces him, and like say why he's important and all that. And yeah, um, uh, after Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, like it gets really confusing after that because there's so many spin-offs like 358 days or 350 and a half days. It gets really confusing. There again, Birth by Sleep is probably one of the better ones outside of the main two because it fills in all the gaps of the beginning. Why is this and why is that? It's also kind of funny because it's almost eerily predicting Star Wars the sequels because Mark Hamill voices a guy in the game and he's like a failed Jedi Master too, so it's just funny that it mirrors Star Wars so much. I think the last thing I can say about the Kingdom Hearts series, um, besides three, I just was gonna say I don't know if I want to touch or I don't know if I want to play three because three is like it has Toy Story and Monsters Inc. and Frozen and Tangled and Wreck-It Ralph and even if Wreck-It Ralph is just a summon, that's still like something versus nothing. And I can't remember the fifth world. Um, oh yeah, it's gosh, it's Big Hero 6, and I dislike the Big Hero 6 because I feel like that's their Japan based movie, and I really wanted something like a Mulan for that, but I don't know if they're ever because there's I again like to be fair, it's like Mulan is the Asian princess, so there's not gonna be another chance at it. But they have two Polynesian movies. They have Lilo and Stitch and Moana now, so I almost feel like they could take a crack at it again. But at the same time, unfortunately, Big Hero 6 is probably gonna be that. If anything, you could all consider Go Tamago the Japanese Disney princess. So, but I don't. I think that's a very long shot. Um. Uh. But. Yeah. Um. What was I gonna? So yeah, I'm kind of like it also held the worlds that you wanted slash waited for, but at the same time, like, it's weird. Um. I really want to play Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, not just because it has the first female protagonist, but it has three playable characters. You go to a lot of the golden age of Disney worlds like Cinderella. Cinderella has never been a world. Again, they have her as a model in the first game. Same thing with I think with Snow White and Aurora as well, but they don't do anything else besides kind of just say a few lines and kind of that's it. So you get the visit the world. Also, Birth by Sleep also has Lilo and Stitch. Unfortunately, the whole part is you never visit Earth and Hawaii. You only visit you're only on the ship, and all the characters are on the ship as well, hanging out with Stitch and Jumba Jukiba and Captain Gantu and the council lady or whatever. I'm sorry, I can't remember the councilwoman's name. So unfortunately, you never go to Earth. You never see Lilo or David or Nani um or gosh or Cobra Bubbles or all the rest of the people on Earth, including that fat ice cream guy. Um. But yeah, there's also Disney Town. It's like a Disneyland, seriously. Um, but it's also what I was saying is Birth by Sleep kind of fills in all the gaps because it shows you a lot of the characters that are nobodies in the future games, like Kingdom Hearts 2, but they have their normal names without the X. So like Axel is Lee, Syax is or something like that. Um, and it's kind of like it fills in all the gaps. It fills in most of the gaps, I would say. Like it fills in almost all the gaps except for like some other characters like Marluxia and Lurcine. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but that's what I read it as. Um, but other than that, try out 358 Days. It's probably again one of the better ones. It's like it's almost up there with like it's like if you consider Metal Gear Solid as one of the better entries of the Metal Gear franchise, Peace Walker's up there, and I feel like Birth by Sleep is that Peace Walker attitude where it's very, except for some odd parts of it, it's up there with the higher ranked entries of the games. Other than that, the other thing I was just gonna say, notable aspects, is if anything, if you have never played the games, you've probably seen the commercials, and that's the thing I always remember verbatim is either Utada Hikaru's or Hikaru's Utada's music. She sings a promo slash song each time for each Kingdom Heart. Simple and Clean is for the first one. Sanctuary is for the second one, and Don't Think Twice was a promotional one they used for E3 for Kingdom Hearts 3. And if you know nothing else about Kingdom Hearts, you know those songs because I swear they played them so much on American television all the time. Maybe because it's like Disney was scared that it was gonna be like a ratings bomb, so they wanted people as much as possible to play it. So, but yeah, some of the other music that's notable is Dearly Beloved. That's a menu theme. That one's pretty good. Roxas's theme when you play Kingdom Hearts 2, and when you subsequently battle him, and some of the battle themes are pretty good, especially the Sleeping Beauty Roar's battle theme for when you play if you try out Birth by Sleep. That one's really solid. One of the other last epic cool things if you want to learn more about Kingdom Hearts, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, the big boss, he shouts Kingdom Hearts, giving your power type thing, and it sounds really good in the flashback because I don't remember in the OG Kingdom Hearts if it's the same voice actor and all that. The last thing I want to close out with, and if anybody's still here, thank you for staying by. I know it's a lot to process, and I know I talked a lot, so I'm sorry that I haven't been talking with chat as a while. The last annoying aspects are sometimes the music is really awful, especially for Cinderella. Cinderella the World, if you play get and play it, it's good. The only bad thing is there's a character called Ventus, and his part is he's shrunk down to a size as a mouse. So you kind of sew up Cinderella's dress or find the materials needed to sew Cinderella's dress, and that's annoying. But it's also the music for the rest of the area is that it's almost like a 15-20 second loop of bibbity bobbity boo, and it sounds really awful, because I feel like they didn't try to make a better song for that. And then again, like I was saying earlier, you go to a Disneyland / Disney Park in Birth by Sleep, and that music is just the Mickey Mouse thing over a 15 to 30 second loop, and it just sounds really bad. I feel like the game testers were going close to being crazy because it's such a short loop, and it shouldn't be because most of the Kingdom Hearts music is pretty solid. So, but then again, the last thing is some repeat worlds, and I forgot to say for Dream Drop Distance, like one of the last entries before 3, they introduced worlds like Hunchback of Notre Dame, which they never did, which is cool. And it's weird that they added the sequel to Tron. So it's weird that they added both those movies, and then they add the Three Musketeers, which is like a classic of Goofy, Donald, and Mickey are the Three Musketeers, and that's a movie. So they added those 3 worlds, and then the repeat of Pinocchio, and that's why I'm saying Pinocchio repeat is annoying, and Peter Pan repeat is annoying as well, um, because even though I don't like Bambi and Dumbo, I feel like there are some there you could still find enjoyment out of them. I feel like Peter Pan and Pinocchio have the hardest time convincing people to be like, okay, this is a hype movie, this is good. But no, I think Pinocchio is probably the hardest sell versus Peter Pan, because I think Peter Pan still has some um, something to say versus just weird Pinocchio. So anyway, I'm sorry. I know that was a long one. And I tried to cover as much as possible. Why I kind of didn't bring up Chain of Memories / I forgot there's one more called Kingdom Hearts Recoded is because also if you play it on Xbox Live, there's only achievements for Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories out of like all the side ones, or besides Birthplace Sleep. So, and there is Recoded. Okay, thank you very much, Shrimpy. Okay, so yeah, we're all wrapping up. So yeah, you don't get achievements for Kingdom Hearts Recoded, and it's only the cutscenes for 358 and a half days, which is really confusing. They have another game called Kingdom Hearts Union, and that's like a prequel to Birth by Sleep. Apparently it was like an MMORPG where you create your own character and you have your own Keyblade and all that. And I think it's only the cutscenes from Kingdom Hearts Union, and that's all. The last thing I have to say, because again they only give you so much, or a couple achievements for each, or they give you 1,000 for Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, Birth by Sleep, and Chain of Memories. Other than that, it's like if they don't give you achievements for 358 and Recoded, like why would you bother booting up the games or / reviewing the cutscenes? So same thing. That's all I gotta say about Kingdom Hearts. Thank you everybody for staying in and watching. And I know it's probably I get irritated and all that, but thank you everybody for stopping by. I've I've enjoyed putting this up again because again, like I have all my alerts here and I have all my stuff going on. So you know it will take some time to get the what's it called, the alerts for when I'm streaming games. So that's it for today. I don't think I'm gonna stream a game today, or Grim Fandango for that matter. But for the most part, I think it's a good time to call it. So again, thank you everybody for stopping by. I am your host, Reroll Zero, signing off.